Welcome to Milo's Mods, ladies and gentlemen. So, a bunch of new people to the hobby weren't really aware of gameface, or the only blaster that they heard of was the gameface Prime before the Tryon came out. So, I figured I would kind of tell the people how the gameface blasters came to be. And this is through what I was able to piece together myself, and I'm pretty sure it's accurate. Okay. In the year 2020, yes, you guys remember the year 2020, the pandemic is raging, and everything else. And there's not a single battle to be had anywhere because everybody has COVID restrictions in place and everything else. Well, around the 4th of July or so, this blaster comes up on YouTube and it's on Drac, of course. So a bunch of us watch it and we like it. This is the Gameface Prime. This blaster is basically a Jet Blaster Ceta variant. Yes, that's right. Y'all remember Jet Blaster, a company which is no longer in business, but that's whatever. Basically what happened was that Gameface decided that they wanted to get into the Dart Blaster business, and which is great, don't get me wrong. This was their first offering, the Gameface Prime. This blaster is a spring-powered, magazine-fed blaster. Runs off of the Retaliator system, with the bolt sled and all that. It was a very nice blaster. However, this blaster had two negative side effects. One, it only shot about 140 FPS into the price tag. The price tag was almost $90, if I remember correctly. And that was on pre-order. This is one of the pre-order models, actually. So a bunch of us ordered the pre-order. I was one of them, of course, And while pre-order was going on, about a week or so before these blasters shipped, or so, another blaster came out. It offered superior performance, out-of-the-box performance of 150 FPS for $50. That was the Nexus Pro. The Nexus Pro had a heavy hand in actually killing this blaster. Many people did not buy this blaster because they figured, why should they spend $80 or $90 on a blaster with 140 FPS when they could just spend $50 and get a Nexus and be good? That's what happened. The Nexus Pro killed the Gameface Prime, basically, before it was even came out, just because this blaster here, the Prime, it had unfortunate timing. The blaster also had other issues, too. One, it was a Jet Blaster variant, and many people in the community weren't real fond of Jet Blaster for some of the things they did. Now, speaking from somebody who didn't experience this or witness any of this, except for my brief conversations with Chris Cortea and a couple other people, it is what it is. But they needed a blaster, and what they do is they licensed this from Jet. That's all they did. They, blaster companies have done it before. Look at Adventure Force and Dart Zone. So what happened was that the Prime failed. Go figure. Because the Nexus Pro killed the market. So a couple of years later, 2022, we were finally starting and able to have battles again. So N-War comes around, and this blaster's debuted at N-War. This is the Gameface Tryon. This is a spring-powered, magazine-fed blaster that does 200 FPS out of the box. Runs off of a spacer system in it. It's a really nice blaster. But this blaster was designed to compete with the DZP Mark 1.2, the Mark 1.1, and the Nexus and Striker platforms. And this price tag was $80. That's right, $80. But you're getting superior performance out of it. I mean, it's a really gorgeous blaster, performs very well out of the box. The only thing is with mine, because this blaster shoots with such force when it's all the way when it has all of its spacers in it, the safety sometimes walks itself from the safe into the fire position, but that's easily fixed. But it was really a rather nice blaster. Now that it's finally came out, and this blaster was released in 2023. I mean, it's absolutely great. I just think that because of the Nexus Pro, that killed the gameface Prime, and that's there's no other nice way to say it. But they redeemed themselves with the gameface Prime. Now, here's something else that was rather interesting. While we saw pictures of the gameface Tryon out on Amazon, a bunch of us saw a listing for a blaster, a pistol from Gameface. This is the Chinese version of it. This is the SP50. This blaster was out for a year or more before the blaster from Gameface. It looks almost identical to it, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's rather interesting, isn't it? Well, this blaster is supposed to be released at some point in its life. It's supposed to be released in like February or so, they said. When it comes out, I'm definitely going to pick one up because I want to see how close it is to this SP50. Just a reminder, the SP50 in its stock configuration shot at 110 right out of the box, just like a stock fire rat. But usually China uses weaker springs. I wonder if Gameface made any improvements to it. I'll definitely be doing a comparison of that. But that's what happened. That's exactly how Gameface came to be. Was that they decided from doing airsoft and everything else that they wanted to try dart blasters. First one was the Prime. The Prime failed because the Nexus Pro came out and killed the market for everything. The Nexus Pro, in all fairness, was a revolutionary blaster, and it still is. But it killed the market a lot of things. It basically killed Nerf 1.0. But it also ushered in Nerf 2.0 as well. Nerf 1.0 was all long darts with a moderate elite retaliator owned the field at 130 FPS. No, not anymore. When you can get something for $50 for 150 FPS, that can go do 200 in a blink of an eye for an extra $5, or so. But yeah, it definitely killed the Gameface Prime. But then they made up for it with this beautiful guy, the Tryon. And a bunch of people have gotten their Tryons and have loved it. There have been a couple little quirks with a few of them, but nothing really major from what I've heard. The one I'm really interested in is I want to see this pistol when it gets released from Gameface. But in any event, I thought you guys would like to see the origins of Gameface. Until next time, this is Myler's Mods signing off.